Was Theodor Herzl, and he said, after I liberate the Jewish people, I will go to Africa to help liberate the black people. We have our African brethren, the Ethiopian Jews, who are in our society, and I personally work every few weeks to help integrate more and more and incorporate them in our society. I believe this. I believe in Africa. I believe in your future, and I believe in our partnership.
What if we say that Israel and its prime minister plan to do exactly the same as they did with Gaza? Well, it might be hard to believe, but after you have heard Netanyahu himself revealing his plans for Africa, the matter becomes quite threatening. The world has seen what Israel has been doing in Gaza, being insensitive to human rights and declining to consider Palestinians humans. After South Africa reached the ICJ and sued Israel, exposing it worldwide, and various other African countries condemning Israel, Netanyahu has planned to do something that will shock Africa. He is planning to experiment in Africa and use the same tactics he did in occupying the land of Palestinians. But what exactly does Israel want to do with Africa, and when it plans to do it? Let's find out in this video. Just a few years back, leaders of African countries met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss collaboration on counterterrorism. However, African leaders got a lesson for the rest of their lives after they heard Netanyahu's plans, working secretly under the cover of counterterrorism.
This meeting, I think, will be a milestone. The meeting of 7 leaders from African countries with Israel. I think it underscores the fact that we are in a monumental change in the relations between Israel and Africa, beginning here. It is warranted by the great changes that are taking place in the world. We at once have an enormous boost and jump towards development, towards the possibilities of this new century, with all the promises of technology. But at the same time, we have a savage medievalism that seeks to take all our societies back, to destroy them, destroy our freedoms and destroy our hopes. So we at once have to do 2 things: develop our countries into the future and fight back the forces that want to take us to a dark past. And we can do this. I believe Israel is the perfect partner for the countries of Africa. I want to thank deeply all the excellencies, the leaders who came here, again on short notice, to attend this summit. From our conversations, I think we put flesh on this structure. We believe it. It's not something we say lip service. We give lip service to. We believe it. We've begun to do it among our respective countries. But I believe that we see opportunities in expanding this to Africa as a whole. Israel has fought terrorism and has developed, as you say, Mr. President, today, we've developed certain capacities which I think are important for the defense of the world against this global onslaught of terrorism. But equally, we have tremendous opportunities. We've solved our water problem, even though we're a very dry land. We've solved our agricultural problem. We produce with great productivity vegetables, dairy. I always am boasting, which cow produces more milk per cow in the world? You think it's a French cow or a Dutch cow? It's an Israeli cow. It's a computerized cow. Every move is monitored, you know. But we are eager to share this technology in so many fields with our African friends. We think that Israel now is the best partner that the countries of Africa could have, and it's something that is dear to our hearts.
In his address, Netanyahu talked about terrorism, a phenomenon that he called a savage medieval thing that wants to take society to the past and destroy the freedom of people. However, given what Israel is doing in Gaza, it becomes very clear that Israel does not care about the terrorism that it carries out against the people of Palestine. At the time of the meeting, the global agenda was counter-terrorism, and African countries thought that it meant terrorism in general. However, Netanyahu was talking of a different form of terrorism, one that Israel only considers terrorism. In other words, activities that limit Israel from pursuing its national interests, like Palestinians demanding their homeland, are terrorism. As for the terrorism in Africa, Israel does not care. Given this, he said that African countries should do two things: collaborate with Israel for a brighter future, and fight fractions that want to drag society back to the past. This is something very dangerous because Israel wants African countries to join its Zionist agenda and carry our murders and brutalities against whomever Israel wants. That's a selfish reason that Netanyahu talked and African countries listened. But Netanyahu felt that African leaders at the summit were not buying what he was saying, so he tried to add a sugar layer to his illicit agendas. He tried making African leaders greedy by saying that if African countries collaborated with Israel, they would have a brighter future in technology and economy. He even gave the example of the Israeli cow, which gives more milk than any other, saying that Israel has made it a computerized cow as it does what the farmers want. He said that for Africa, Israel is a perfect partner. All this was said to somehow get African leaders to collaborate with Israel, after which Israel could suck African resources and establish Jewish states like itself. Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Africa's geopolitics, economy, and changing landscape. Let's continue now. Going to extremes, he tried attracting African leaders by saying that his words should not be considered lip service because, he said, Israel is putting flesh in the relations. However, it has to be interpreted what it means, given what Israel is doing in Gaza. Then he talked about weapons, saying that Israel has developed modern weapons to fight terrorism, trying to attract African leaders. However, his words should not be trusted because nobody knows how he plans to use those weapons. Nobody can say with certainty whether Israel plans to share weapons or use those weapons on Africa. It's because what he said next made things quite clear.
After I liberate the Jewish people, I will go to Africa to help liberate the black people. We have our African brethren, the Ethiopian Jews, who are in our society, and I personally work every few weeks to help integrate more and more and incorporate them in our society. I believe this. I believe in Africa. I believe in your future, and I believe in our partnership for this future. And I believe that this meeting will be seen as a turning point in Israel's ability to reach the broad number of African countries, which is our goal. We want a better future for you, a better future for all of us, and we think we can be your perfect partners. So once again, I thank you for this extraordinary display of hospitality and warmth and friendship. Israel is coming back to Africa. Africa is coming back to Israel. Thank you.
But what does he mean by liberation? Netanyahu said that once he liberated the Jewish people, he would liberate the black people. However, who does Netanyahu want black people to be liberated from? This clearly means that Netanyahu plans to use black Jewish people present in Africa as an excuse to expand and establish Jewish states like itself in Africa. Therefore, it won't mean liberation, but division and disintegration of Africa. It should be noted that Africans have never considered themselves different on the basis of religion. However, by making statements like liberating black people, Netanyahu wants to create divisions so he can support separation movements. Moreover, even though he said to liberate black people in Africa, he is himself expelling black Hebrew Israelites out of Israel. Despite having lived in Israel for many decades, members of the black Hebrew Israelites are now facing doubts about their status as Jews and are under the looming threat of deportation. Israel is making arrangements to expel dozens of black Hebrew Israelites who hold residency permits and have been residing in the southern part of the country for an extended period. After knowing this, it becomes quite clear that Netanyahu does not care about black people. He only cares about Israel and how he can establish more states like it. Now, as South Africa has sued it and is willing to sue again and again, chances are that we will see Israel doing the same with Africa as it's doing with Gaza. What do you think? What should African leaders do to avoid the same situation in Africa as it's happening in Gaza. Isn't it true that after what Netanyahu said, African countries should be cautious of Israel and keep a distance? In the comment section right below, share your thoughts on how big a threat Israel is for Africa collectively and how it should be stopped. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: African politics, economy, and increasing power. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. Like and share the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our African videos. It's the best way to support us.